6 months ago, I sat right here and did a video called Starting Over in My Witchcraft Practice, which is something many of you have seen and was prompted by my move from Miami to the Central Oregon coast. Two very, very different places. Today's video is about my practice now and the goals I have for it in 2025. This idea came from my friend Leah, the redheaded witch, who made her own version of this video and tagged several others to follow suit. I love tag videos that create conversation within the witchy space and allow us to check in on one another, so I'm really excited to make my own. This video also feels like an organic continuation of the one I mentioned at the beginning. Moving to the Pacific Northwest was obviously the biggest change in my practice in 2024, and we are quickly coming up to a year here in April. And oh my goodness, the time has flown. My goal for the first year of being here was just to be really present and observant of the world around me, and sticking to that has been the biggest blessing for my practice. If you're looking for direction in yours, start there. That has looked like collecting books about the area, connecting with plant and animal allies such as cherry blossoms that will soon bloom in the spring, and rhododendrons to follow, as well as the elk that walk our majestic forests and beaches, who in death leave pieces of themselves that I can collect to honor their spirits long after they are gone. I have really explored this area since moving here and gone on constant road trips up and down the state, and gotten really involved in my own community. Throughout it all, I've been journaling about my experiences and my observations to build my new practice here on the Oregon coast. These are all things I'm going to continue with in 2025, but now let's get into specifics. 1. Foraging. I'm now at the point that I can identify most things around me, and I know what people are looking for when they go out to find something to eat or make a tincture of. I want to challenge myself to be consistent at that. Gathering chanterelles and lobster mushrooms for stir fries, huckleberries for making jelly, and elderberry for medicinal syrup to stave off the cold. I want to work practically with the land the most I can. Similarly, I want to go fishing, crabbing, and clamming. The three of those things are such a way of life out here, and it's a very ethical and sustainable way to provide food for your family and a skill I want to have. 2. I'm expanding my wheel of the year, specifically the full moons. You likely are familiar with these names: wolf moon, snow moon, worm moon, so on and so forth. These are listed in the Farmer's Almanac, where they are called Native American moons. My problem with them is that they're really generic and a watered-down version of where they originally stem from. Indigenous people across North America are all so different and celebrate different moons based on the nation they're from. For example, the January full moon is often called the wolf moon, but if you look to specific nations, they will all call it something different. Here is a list of various nations and what they call the January full moon as an example. And interestingly enough, I could not find where wolf moon originated. Because of this, I have decided to create my own moon names based on where I am, the Central Oregon coast, and what I am experiencing here. If you want a full video going through each one and how you can create your own, let me know. 3. I have been getting really into pottery recently. I have taken classes for about the last 16 weeks, and it's become a huge part of my life. This year, I want to make different ceramics for my practice, ritual tools, decor, and other practical items. I thought I would have a lot of pieces to show you in this video, but I ended up giving a lot of them away as gifts for Yule and Christmas, but I do have 2 pieces to share with you. This is a wall altar that I made, just a small one. There's a hole to nail it to the wall and space to put a candle, a photo, herbs. It's in this really beautiful sea glass color, and I would love to create them to have all over my home. As for my second piece, something about me that you might not know is I love to paint, both mundanely and magically. And this is a little paint pot that I made to look like mushrooms. These little pods are where you put the paint. This one holds 6 different colors, and I really love how this is beautiful and practical. I'll pop up a couple photos and maybe videos of some of the other works in progress that I have. It's been such a good outlet for my creativity, and I'm actually thinking of doing limited collections of some of my pieces if folks would be interested in that. I don't know exactly what they will be, but for example, I could make like 6 little altars, and if you were interested, you could buy one from my website. I would also love to do custom orders if there was something someone wanted. For example, a tile with a personal sigil on it. I do already own a small business, an astrology business, but I've never sold physical goods before, especially something handmade. So I'm still working out the logistics, but if you're interested, Instagram, specifically Instagram stories, is probably the best place for updates. 4. I'm gonna teach myself to read Lenorman cards. Lenormand cards are much more literal. There's only 26 cards instead of 78, and they are named after Marie Anne Lenormand, a French fortune teller and cartomancer who was influential in the late 18th century. I have been called to them for a few reasons, but I am primarily French, so incorporating them into my practice is another way to connect to my heritage. I am primarily French, but I am not all French. It was just the first thread I discovered when I began my reconnection journey. It's taken me a few years to explore that, and now I feel ready to see what other traditions and cultures came into creating me. I've never used Ancestry.com before, but I just started and I am amazed by what I've been able to find. Records for birth, death, immigration, marriage going back hundreds of years, and I'm just getting started. This is not an ad, they have no idea I'm talking about them, but it's been such a great resource I just wanted to share. 6. I want to host another witchcraft retreat. If you didn't know, in 2023 I hosted my first. We went to Costa Rica over Samhain, and I vlogged it if you want to see. It was a life-changing event. It was such a vulnerable thing to practice witchcraft with strangers. But within a day, we were not strangers, and by the end, we were lifelong friends. Many of them will hopefully be joining again on this second one, which I am in the beginning process of organizing. Community is really important to me, and it's something I want to foster in any way I can. Not only would I love to do another retreat, I would love to do smaller events, both online and in person. Again, Instagram is the best place to keep up with me on that sort of thing. I do also have a super active community Discord that you should join if you haven't. That is a look at my witchcraft to-do list for 2025. I would love to hear what you are planning in your practice for the upcoming year. You can share down below or in your own video. I am always looking for more creators here on YouTube. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. To keep up with me between uploads, there is a link down below to all of my other platforms. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Blessed be, and goodbye, everyone.